Hey everybody, it's Justin over at Run Detroit, and it is freaking cold here in Detroit. The temperatures are going to continue to drop, especially as we move into the weekend. So a lot of people are asking about how do they stay warm when they're out there on a run. So I actually pulled some stuff from my closet to show you what I would typically be wearing with these temperatures. Just a pair of like standard weight Brooks tights. When it fits 5 degrees, this might be okay, but as the wind starts to pick up, I have this funky pair of long discontinued New Balance tights, and I think that's what makes a lot of this stuff so nice is, yeah, it might be a little bit of investment, but I mean, I've had these for 5 years. The fit on these is kind of weird. They have like this weird pantaloon sort of shape to them, but on the inside, on the front, it actually has a windproof fabric. So that actually keeps a lot of the cold air out, and this has been a game changer for those really, really cold days. Up top, I'll wear something like a Mizuno Breath Thermal top, something with a little bit of a higher neck to try to keep as much warmth in as possible. So I can start with that, over which I'll layer. Again, this is an older piece. When we were carrying Pearl Zumi, we've got the Run Detroit branded. We may have a few of those around. That's very similar, kind of that quilted front, soft shell. So that would go over my Breath Thermal top. And then we're big fans of keeping things as windproof as possible. So I'm just gonna put my super thin windproof shell over the top. That's gonna keep some of that cold air from getting in. Whatever the base layer is, so in this case, my Mizuno Breath Thermal top, I'm gonna tuck that into my tights to stop airflow from moving against my skin. That's gonna keep me a lot warmer to start. And then as I start to warm up, I can untuck and start to regulate heat, because you wanna be warm enough to be comfortable, but you don't wanna be so warm that you then start sweating a lot and creating a lot of moisture, and you're gonna get even more cold. From there, the normal stuff, my hands are by far my weakest link. So an old combination where Brooks had this like wind resistant shell and then a liner glove that went inside. If it's not too windy and we're down into these single digits or 0, this might be okay for me. When we've had these polar vortex before and we got into those like -10 degrees, I actually busted out the Mount Baker glove from OR. Outdoor Research makes a lot of mountaineering stuff, and these are old gloves from 20 years ago when I did a lot of snowboarding. They're bulky, you can't do much with dexterity, but it kept my cold hands warm. Buff is awesome. You can get these at all sorts of races, so if you sign up for a race and they're giving a buff away, it's worth it. Throw it in the drawer. You're gonna have this thing for years. You can pull it up. If you start to warm up, you can drop it down. You might not need it as you're running with the wind. As soon as you turn into the wind, you pull it up. Hat, I gotta keep my ears warm. So our Run Detroit hat's got a little fleece liner on one side, so I'll keep the fleece on the inside, keep me warm. It's a really windy day. I have clear lenses. A number of our Tifosi glasses come with a clear lens, and this just keeps some of that cold wind off my eyes, but it also keeps like driving snow, sand, salt from going up. And then lastly, Gore-Tex shoes. I'm a big fan. I don't need Gore-Tex from a staying dry standpoint, but that waterproofness is also windproof. And if I can keep that cold air from getting into my shoe, my toes are way, way warmer. So I'll run with a Gore-Tex shoe when it gets super cold. When it's like 20 degrees, I'm probably not running in a Gore-Tex shoe, but I do enjoy walking the dogs in a Gore-Tex shoe because I'm moving so much slower and I'm not generating as much heat, and my feet tend to get a little bit more cold. We do have the 880, we have the Ghost, we also have the Timp boot in Gore-Tex, and those are available. But if you don't have a Gore-Tex shoe and you can't justify picking one up, again, if you're just trying to get through these super cold days, pull out your sock liner, If you have a dog, go to the roll of dog bags, and you can kind of improvise, put your sock liner back in the dog bag like so, and slip that back into the shoe. So now when you go to put the shoe back on, you will have the bag underneath and over the top of your foot, but it's underneath the sock liner, so you're not gonna be slipping around, and that will create a windproof barrier around your toes. It's a little hack, it's not, perfect, but it's definitely gonna help if you're just trying to get out there for a little bit. Other tips, just reduce your time. Instead of going out for a 10-mile loop, give yourself a few 3-mile loops so you have the option to circle back to the house, whether you need to add a layer or if you overdressed, drop a layer, and then you can decide to cross-train if it's just not working. So hopefully you feel a little more inspired to dig through your closet, find something that'll work. Just seek windproof layers whenever possible, and we will be here on Saturday, leaving at 8 a.m. sharp. See ya.